Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored and delighted to be addressing you today at the closing of this wonderful event. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who organized and supported this event and made it such a splendid occasion. Thank you for this viable opportunity to share our vision and ideas with our partners. The cooperation of the P-TECC parties within the 3Cs initiative is a unique format where we can facilitate coordination with both our closest neighbors and the US partners. We highly value the P-TECC being an indispensable part of the 3Cs initiative. We appreciate successful cooperation between all 3Cs countries, as well as encouragement and support from strategic partners. Latvia, as the host of the next 3C summits in Business Forum, will continue to focus on importance of smartly development energy, transport and digital pillars that reinforce a secure and inclusive connectivity of the region infrastructure and provide solutions that will ensure Europe's competitiveness in a rapidly evolving environment. We underline, 1, the importance of strengthening EU cohesion, 2, active transatlantic cooperation links and deeper cooperation with like-minded countries, 3, development of projects in the region that promote economic growth and sustainability, 4, the importance of attracting investments for development of inclusive connectivity. Strengthening regional connectivity has a strategic importance in making the EU more resilient and sustainable, as well as enhancing its economic growth, competitiveness, and strengthening transatlantic bonds. That's why financial involvement of all 3Cs countries, as well as from the United States into 3Cs initiative investment fund, is crucial for continued and successful development of work done so far. Success of enhanced 3Cs region connectivities lies also in continued cooperation with strategic partners such as Germany, the European Commission, and with other like-minded countries and international financial institutions, as well as the private sector. We appreciate and welcome a growing interest in the initiative from the United Kingdom, France, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and other like-minded countries outside the region. Behind excellent achievements, there is clear vision, responsible attitude, as well as strong motivation to achieve real results. It is important that 3C projects become reality. Projects that could help 3Cs initiative countries individually and the whole region become more competitive and resilient. No initiative has all necessary aspects in place to begin attracting private capital to the projects in the region. I am delighted that on summer 2022, coasts of Baltic Sea will be place of the Summit and Business Forum. Summit that will be platform for highest political levels leaders and well as public and private investors. We're looking forward to active cooperation and support from 3Cs countries and United States that will be crucial for progress and visibility of the initiative and for Latvian as the host of the next summit in 2022. In conclusion, I would like to convey my personal thanks for all of those who made this event possible, as well as us for participants. I hope that all of you today have found new energy, partners, and ideas to take in with you. As well, we know the work is always in progress. All opportunities that you will take today will contribute to a broader effort to promote our cooperation in the future. Thank you, friends. Thank you, colleagues. See you all in Riga next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now please welcome Poland's Undersecretary of State for Foreign Affairs and Government Plenipotentiary for the 3Cs initiative, His Excellency Mr. Paweł Jabłoński.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending this very important event. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, ministers, ambassadors, all distinguished guests, I have my very big pleasure and honor today to talk to you a little bit, most of all, to thank you for your participation in this hugely important event. And I believe that this is yet another sign of how important our cooperation is, of how important topics we have been discussing over the course of many panels today. And it's, I believe, yet again proved that it is a very useful, a very needed platform of exchanging ideas on strategically important aspects of energy cooperation. I want to thank very much to my colleague from Latvia who spoke at length about our cooperation within the 3Cs initiative. This is in particular important to me as the government coordinator from the Polish government side. I see that this opportunity is perfectly in line with our goals in the regional cooperation in Europe and the 3Cs initiative. It strengthens not only the dynamics within our group, but also our cooperation with outside partners. Indeed, this is very important. And when we talk about tangible results of this conference, I would like to highlight 3 areas of cooperation that, in my opinion, will be significantly strengthened in the upcoming months. First might seem surprising, but it is very important, even also in the fields of energy, and that is cybersecurity. And it is of paramount importance to strengthen our cooperation in this field, because it goes very much beyond just the digital sphere, and it concerns any type of modern infrastructure, of modern economy, and that includes obviously strategic elements such as the energy infrastructure. And as we are facing new threats every day from state and non-state actors, it is every day more important that we consider our region as particularly vulnerable to hostile actions that might disrupt the functioning of these critical elements of infrastructure that might disrupt the whole economy. That is why it is so important to coordinate on that. That is why it's so important to cooperate more and more in this field. The second issue I would like to touch upon is one particular area of cooperation in the field of energy, namely the hydrogen technologies. And I'm very glad that during this ministerial, the role of hydrogen was one of the most important topics indeed, that it was discussed at length, and Polish government emphasizes the growing importance of this source of energy, both from perspective of decarbonization as also from the perspective of energy security. That is why we advocate including hydrogen as an important part of the 3Cs initiative. We believe that this could help us identify possible areas of specialization for the countries of our region, and this could further lead us to generation of new cross-border business projects. This has already been reflected in the declaration of this year's 3Cs Initiative Summit in Sofia, and all the countries undertook commitments to support the development of production and use of hydrogen. I have no doubt that it is about time to turn these plans into reality, and I think that establishing a new working group within the 3Cs initiative dedicated to development of hydrogen projects is worth considering, or some other tools of coordination that could help us facilitate development in this area. We should not forget, obviously, that hydrogen projects require substantial financial subsidies, financial stimulus, both from public and private sector, and we believe that it could foster transatlantic cooperation as well, with a view to achieving our common ambitious climate goals. Last but not least, coming yet again to the issue that we started, new cyber solutions. In order to transform our 3Cs initiative region into a global hotspot for smart mobility, for energy innovation, we need, first of all, to implement new flexible digital solutions along the north-south axis, and they should include resilient 5G systems founded in the principle of diversification of infrastructure suppliers. The way we implement these solutions, we should try to utilize products and services that are developed by companies from our region or with their involvement. because these technologies are in no way inferior to products that are offered from companies from other countries with which we obviously want to be partners, which we want obviously to cooperate very closely. We want to cooperate with our close-minded partners, our friends, while at the same time developing our own capacity in this field, and I'm absolutely convinced that this approach might create even more business opportunities for all parties concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, new technologies create opportunities, they create challenges, and I strongly believe that because of our partnership, thanks to our close cooperation together, we will be able to keep the momentum and to deliver on our promises. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you once again His Excellency Mr. Michał Kurtyka, Poland's Minister of Climate and Environment.
Well, thank you all so much, and we are here to basically recap and close us out. Let me start by saying I encourage you all to visit Washington, D.C. If you do, you'll come to my office, and in my office there is a very large whiteboard, and on the whiteboard is the number of days we have left in this administration as far as we know. And as of today, it's 838 days. 838 days that we, this administration, is guaranteed to be able to have an impact. And so I often say that our hair is on fire because the planet is on fire. And so I am so grateful, Minister Kurtyka, for your sense of urgency about this as well. And that that P-TECC is now a body of action. So, recap. Number one, we formally added officially the second C to become the Partnership for Transatlantic Energy and Climate Cooperation. Action. Number two, we reached consensus on our P-TECC Statement of Principles, which will guide our work together in the coming years. We have officially welcomed 2 new participants in the P-TECC family, Kosovo and Serbia. And next, our working groups are going to convene in the coming months to revisit their action plans based upon today's conversations. And for those of you who are not yet part of a working group, I encourage you to join one so that you can dig into these topics on a deeper technical level and really benefit from the wisdom of our partnership around the region and our ability to learn from each other. In that spirit, as part of working groups, I want to announce that the Department of Energy has a few follow-up announcements to share just as the start of this collaboration. One, in collaboration with our national laboratories, we are planning new cyber security trainings, to your point previously, and climate energy modeling to P-TECC partner countries to assist you as you undergo your energy transitions. Some of you have asked for this, some of you don't need it, but our labs, as I mentioned earlier today, are really quite expert in identifying what are the pieces of that clean energy mix that might help get to your goal. Number two, there is already an Embassy Science Climate Fellow from Argonne National Laboratory who's going to work with Austria and Kosovo on climate adaptation modeling starting next week. And we will be hosting webinars on ideas we've discussed today, particularly workforce development, collegiate energy competitions here in Eastern and Central Europe. And I am pleased to invite you to our Global Power Systems Transformation Consortium. And the United States will be following up with a number of you following this P-TECC conference. So bottom line is right now we are in this once in a generation moment, and we know the impacts of climate change, and the question is, how are we going to impact climate change? The time is now. A huge thank you to Minister Kurtyka, whose team working with our Department of State and our folks on the ground here have done just a great job of setting this up, this P-TECC transformation and rebranding, and this conference, of course. So thank you so much. I am so honored to have been your partner in this and to experience the gala tonight as well with all of you. Thank you so much, Minister Kurtyka.
Dear Secretary, I think it's symbolic that we are closing this ministerial together here on the stage. And let me also revert to you the compliment, because it wouldn't be possible to happen without a strong cooperation with your teams. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And of course, your personal involvement, it's an effort, it's a big challenge to be able to spend 2 days really focused. I've seen you really concentrating on what we've been discussing. So thank you very much. My personal deep sense of gratitude to you, Secretary Granholm.
Thank you.
So again, it's symbolic that we are closing together this ministerial of the Partnership for Transatlantic Energy and Climate Cooperation with a deep sense of satisfaction. And let me recall that P-TECC with 1C cooperation has been started with the idea of securing energy supplies in the region and strengthening the ties between both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. And for me, as it was said, this is a great honor that the enlargement of our cooperation with climate dimension took place here in Warsaw, in Poland, the country with the huge transformation needs, and as I said, also huge transformation needs and high ambitions in this regard. And today we had an outstanding occasion to talk about the development of future energy and climate cooperation between Europe and the United States. And what is crucial for me is that we discussed the nexus of climate change and energy security. We tried to answer the question how we can integrate climate action into our P-TECC focus areas of critical infrastructure, energy efficiency, renewable energy, nuclear energy, and security of energy supply. And I believe that some questions have been answered, but I'm also aware of the fact that a lot of discussions are still ahead of us. And so what I deeply believe is that the implementation of the climate dimension to P-TECC will not only strengthen our cooperation, but as I mentioned already at the closed ministerial session, it's a must and it's an opportunity in today's reality. And for me, a former COP president, it's particularly important that we approve this change just right before the COP26. And I'm delighted that we are so united in this process, because only by acting together we can achieve all our ambitious goals. And closing this meeting, let me take the opportunity to invite you to 2 events which are of particular importance for me and which will happen here in Poland, and will be another opportunity for us to gather, to discuss and to move forward our cooperation on many different fronts. So first of all, something which is very close to my heart, Global Electromobility Forum, which was launched at COP24 in Katowice, the second day of COP. And that was an initiative under the auspices of my Prime Minister, Mateusz Morawiecki. And since COP24, so since December 2018, every year we come back with a large number of participating countries. And our Driving Change Together declaration, which is the basis of Global Electromobility Forum, is enlarged year by year with new countries, with new partners, with new participants. So my invitation goes to all of our countries. If you are not yet in the Driving Change Together Alliance. Please be part of it, and we can discuss together about challenges faced by e-mobility and how we can respond to it. The second interesting opportunity is Together Summit, which is planned in April next year, and we will be discussing all issues linked with clean transformation and challenges which are very much at the heart of my country, transformation linked, for example, with clean air. So Together is addressing also this particular dimension. And I think that the Together initiative can become a pan-European and transatlantic tool for further exchange of knowledge and best practices when it comes to harmonization of climate policy goals and objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank distinguished guests and panelists during today's Ministerial of the P-TECC. I would like again to thank as well our US colleagues for cooperation and their help in organizing such a great event. I'm particularly glad that we could have met here in person in Warsaw. That's a great moment of personal exchanges and relations, and I thank all of you for taking the effort and the courage to travel this time. It's not obvious. Thank you again. And I believe that we will have much more opportunities to meet in person again in the near future. But today we are still together, and I'm very happy to invite you to the gala dinner, which will be a great opportunity to sum up our energy and climate-focused discussion, but also, I hope, for some enjoyment and more personal talks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for those closing remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. This concludes the P-TECC ministerial program. We are now moving here on this stage to the press briefing for Minister Kurtyka and Secretary Granholm. So we would like to invite everyone for the networking part to the filtracja room, as here we will require a lot of silence in the room for the press briefing. So surely you'll be much more comfortable networking in the filtracja room. So here we will start the press briefing promptly, and the filtracja room is awaiting you for the further networking. We are looking forward to reconvening this evening at the Hotel Warszawa at 7 p.m. for gala dinner, as mentioned by the Minister. Thank you very much for today, and have a lovely evening.
jak wyglądamy. Możemy? Ladies and gentlemen, I would like kindly welcome you all to joint conference at third Ministerial Partnership for Transatlantic Energy and Climate Cooperation. I would like to welcome the co-host of this event, Madam Jennifer Granholm, U.S. Secretary of Energy, and Mr. Michał Kurtyka, Polish Minister of Climate and Environment. We will start from statements made by Madam Secretary and Mr. Minister. I would like kindly ask Madam Secretary Jennifer Granholm to take the floor.
Great. Thank you so much. So today's meeting was all about strengthening our common resolve across two regions to tackle the climate crisis and to seize what is an enormous economic opportunity in clean energy. It could not have happened at a more important moment. We've already been, all of us, experiencing the impacts of climate change, from explosive wildfires in Greece and California to shocking heat waves across our two continents. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change from the UN is warning us, code red for humanity, that we have to cut emissions quickly to prevent these extreme weather events from getting far worse. But this moment is also ripe with opportunity. As we collectively recover from the pandemic, we all have, each nation, a unique chance to speed our transition to a clean energy future, to create jobs, to spur hundreds of billions of dollars in investment in our countries. So I am leaving feeling more confident in our ability to work together to make that happen in Central and Eastern Europe, as well as in the United States. It may sound just like a name, only a name, but adding a second C to P-TECC, becoming the Partnership for Transatlantic Energy and Climate Cooperation, means a whole new set of goals and ways of working together across our two regions. So at this meeting, we also added two new members to the P-TECC family, Kosovo, Serbia, and we heard from energy ministers across the region about just how much opportunity there is from clean energy expansion. So know this, the United States is back at the table. President Biden and I deeply value our partnership with Central and Eastern Europe. We want to keep strengthening this relationship with allied nations in this region. And we know that by working across borders, we can move faster toward our collective goal to battle climate change. So we're proud of what this new group, rebranded group, I should say, has accomplished today. We look forward to seeing this new version of P-TECC become a platform for tangible action and progress. And we are so grateful to Minister Kurtyka and the Polish Ministry of Climate and Environment for their incredible and tireless work to host this wonderful P-TECC program here in Warsaw. So thank you very much. Minister?
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. Now, Mr. Michał, please take the floor.
Dear Madam Secretary, it's my great pleasure to host this event, and my personal gratitude goes to you for co-hosting this great event here in Warsaw. more than 20 delegations coming from 3 Seas region, from Western Balkans, from Central and Eastern European countries, but also, and most importantly, strengthening our ties between the region and United States of America. And thank you very much, Secretary Granholm, for coming to Warsaw and for initiating in person the dialogue between our region and new Biden administration. And I'm very happy and proud that this meeting took place effectively here in Warsaw. And I find it symbolic also that this cooperation is built around energy and climate dimensions, which are the challenges of our time. Indeed, it was a great meeting. We spent yesterday discussing with business community, discussing about what does it mean in practice, energy and climate transition, how to make sure that we can keep energy security, how we can make sure that this energy will be affordable, how to make sure that this transition will be secured for our communities, how to make it a just transition. These were topics that we focused on, not only yesterday with the business community, but also today with ministers framing the expectations of business community and of our societies in regulatory and legislative actions. So I'm very happy that we discussed not only traditional subjects of energy security, hard energy security, development of infrastructure, what does it mean, energy security in the world of hydrocarbons, but we could also discuss about new challenges and new related topics with the energy security, cyber security, how to make sure that we are not dependent on rare metals, how to make sure that our energy system are resilient to changing weather conditions and our cities to weather patterns. A very interesting number of subjects that we raised, which are opening also a completely new perspective for the region and for transatlantic cooperation, which I believe after this great event is very much strengthened.
Minister, for your statement. Now we'll move to questions. First one from Wojciech Krzyszkowski, Polish Press Agency. The Polish-US Intergovernmental Agreement on Nuclear Energy provides participation and support of the US administration in the Polish nuclear energy program. Meanwhile, you may be aware of a number of Polish companies that are joining the Synthos Company initiative and not investigated by the government's nuclear energy program. Does the US government support this initiative? If so, how?
Well, I'm not familiar with Synthos, perhaps the minister can take that piece of it. But I will say that we are eager to partner with Poland and with other countries who are looking to adopt clean energy through nuclear power. And we think that nuclear power for the countries that are looking, which almost all countries are, for baseload, zero carbon emission energy, that nuclear power is a huge opportunity. So we have had a lot of very productive discussions on that with Poland and with a number of other countries as well. And that is something that the United States is looking forward to continue to work on.
Maybe just to add on, we are very happy that, and we see that our nuclear ambition is being also taken very seriously by Polish industry. On a less serious note, let me say that it was difficult to open a newspaper in September without having yet another company ambitioning to develop its nuclear energy future. So it's great. We need to complement all activities which are developed by the state. Nuclear program which is run by Polish government is very much complementary with programs proposed by Polish companies. So it is a great opportunity for all of us also to make sure that the infrastructure that we are going to develop for nuclear safety, for nuclear regulation, is going to serve both kinds of initiatives. I think it's better. It's also in terms of cost efficiency. So we are looking forward with great hope for these new initiatives.
Question is from Anna Koper, Reuters. What amount of financing for the Polish nuclear project could the US provide, and on what conditions? Are there any talks on that topic ongoing at the moment?
Yes, there are talks ongoing, and the United States has a work group that is taking a look at the options from our end. So I guess the most I can say on that is stay tuned.
Third question also from Anna Koper from Reuters for Minister Kurtyka. Are there any Polish companies interested in SMR projects? And for Secretary Granholm, how would the US cooperation on that issue? What kind of support, if any, could the US provide?
I think that I already answered this question. So yes, indeed, there are Polish companies interested in SMRs, and we are happy of that.
Yeah, we're happy with that as well. Obviously, the United States has got some terrific companies who are engaged in nuclear power. For example, Westinghouse, for example, NuScale. These are companies that are having conversations with Poland and other countries as well. NuScale, with a small modular reactor, is suitable for example, the discussion about industrial decarbonization, partnering with industry, or modular, in a modular reactor, you can build on it to scale, to size it in a different way. So it's an exciting new technology that was licensed by our Nuclear Regulatory Commission. So both the big plants like the AP1000, that is a Westinghouse plant, or NuScale, or I know there are others as well. We're very excited about the various options because they are safe, because they are secure. The second part of the question, I'm not sure I finished it.
How would the US cooperation on that issue? What kind of support, if any?
What kind of support? Yeah, the support obviously involves, there's the financial component, which I already answered, but there's also technical support, regulatory support, or at least making sure that the regulatory system is harmonious and secure as well. So those are the kinds of supports that the United States can also bring to bear.
Fourth question is from Patryk Szczałkowski, Gazeta Poland. Poland is planning the biggest fossil gas expansion in Europe this decade in Poland's current energy strategy, treating it as a transitional fuel. But experts warn that such investment might lock Poland into gas dependency beyond 2050, resulting in Poland failing to achieve net zero. How would you comment on such plans?
So we carefully designed our energy policy till 2040. And it's based on three pillars: just transition, new zero emission energy system, and clean air. And we want to address all three issues within 20 years' time, which is a challenge, taking into account the fact that Polish energy system was built over at least 50 or 60 years. And right now, during 20 years, we are challenged to build a new zero emission energy system, which will be comparable in size to the existing conventional one. But this is not the only challenge that we are facing. We will be increasing also the share of renewables within our system. By 2030, we believe that 1 in every 3 megawatt hours of produced electricity will be from renewable sources. And we need to make sure also that we address in this energy strategy one of the biggest challenges that we inherited from previous times, which is air pollution. And here we have a challenge of transformation of more than 400 centrally planned heat networks, which is a great particularity of Poland, but also a great asset which we want to transform for the future. So the only way that we can transform such big systems as Warsaw, for example, which is the biggest centrally planned heat system in European Union, the only way to transform them is to go to gas. It's having double effect. First of all, it's decreasing emissions, and second, it's also decreasing the air pollution within the country. So we have to use this fuel as a transitional fuel, Obviously, we are also thinking about making sure that the pipes that we are going to have in Poland, that we already have gas pipes, are going to be adapted to decarbonized gases. And one of the objectives that we set in our energy policy is by 2030 to get 10% ability to transport decarbonized gases, such as hydrogen or biogas, in our gas network pipes. So we are moving in a manner which is optimal in terms of economies, which is optimal also in terms of investment, and taking into account the fact that we already invested heavily in diversification of infrastructure, especially gas infrastructure, and we have LNG terminal, we are finalizing Baltic pipe, we have great cooperation with United States companies in providing LNG gas to Poland, but not only to Poland. Poland became a gateway, a door for Central Europeans also to be able to diversify their gas supplies. So we are confident that we keep energy security during this transition, and we at the same time will be able to achieve our targets in terms of air quality and reduced emissions.
Madam Secretary.
Let me just say that we recognize that gas is less carbon intensive, obviously, than coal. But on our end, we're very interested as well in removing CO2 from the gas development cycle, and we are also interested in removing methane from natural gas. So both of those are a focus in the United States. We really want to support zero carbon fuels. And so we are working on carbon capture and storage technology in the United States to be able to decarbonize natural gas. And we have just signed on to the methane pledge that the President just announced at the UN General Assembly, which is to cut our methane emissions by 30% by 2030, and to continue to move to remove greenhouse gas emissions from the natural gas infrastructure. I know the technological cooperation that we have discussed here at P-TECC includes carbon capture and sequestration, and I look forward to having those further conversations with Minister Kurtyka and Poland as we move forward.
And that was the last question, what means that's the end of our conference. Madam Secretary, Mr. Minister, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.